Okay, yes, I can see some familiar faces here, and I want to say good morning to you, or good afternoon, or even good evening to you, wherever in the world you are joining us from. I believe a lot of people will still be trying to log in at this moment. So while we are waiting for them, I just wanted to let me know where you're joining us from. I can see that Olga has already said he's joining from the UK. Please just put it in the chat box. Where are you joining us from this morning or this afternoon? It could be evening in your area, like my folks in Nigeria will be straight from Africa, most likely Nigeria. Just put where you're calling from straight away. Yes, thank you, Patrick, from Connecticut, US. And I'm from down under Australia, Melbourne. All right, please let's know where you're joining us from. Yep, thank you. That's from Lagos, Nigeria. Shegun Sayolu, nice to see you here, bro. Thank you. Mariama from Washington, D.C. Great. Let's know where you're joining us from while we welcome other folks. Hey, Abu Sabah from Georgia, USA. You're welcome on board. Thank you so much. All right, I guess we'll just start, and then because we don't want to keep you here more than the hour, and of course, once we are done, we'll have to adjourn. So let's start on time. That's one of the practices in Agile. But I can see, you know, Sulaiman from Abuja. Of course, yeah, I know it's a stretch. Olga, that's the love of the game. From Melbourne, yeah. Hawaii, DC, Lagos, UK, and we have African countries as well that are regulars here. That's true. Thank you, Olga. All right, without wasting much more time, let's go straight into it. You're welcome. This is the Discipline Agile meetup. Thanks for our, returning committee members, and thanks to also to our, new members as well. Continue to let us know where you are actually joining us from in the chat box if you have not already done that. All right, let's start with why. Why are we here? This is a group of committed individuals who are really looking at promoting the real value of lean and agile practices. And most of all, we use the freedom that Discipline Agile promises us. We encourage individuals and organizations in Africa, most especially with an interest to developing their agile practice to attend. We are not bounded, which means we look at building knowledge from different frameworks.
Recording in progress.
Across different lean and agile processes like Scrum, like Kanban, Safe, Lean Startup, and Lean Agile life cycles. Of course, this does not remove the disciplined Agile toolkit. Most people that have been part of this before will testify that it's been a good run because we consistently show up every month and then we bring valuable interactions. Of course, this is brought to you by Pitt Loring Consulting. We are an authorized training partner. So for your training needs, just consult or contact us. Of course, if you need some advice, we are here to support you as well. All right. So today we are very, very, very lucky and very, great to welcome Taufik Babayaju to help us unpack agility from a business perspective. And I'm just going to quickly, introduce Taufik, and I'll hand over to him very, very soon. Taufik is a transformation expert, management and technology professional. He's also an author. He's a respected speaker. He has over 2 decades of experience and expertise in organizational strategy, in digital and agile transformation, project, program, and portfolio management. He is also involved with PMO delivery, technology consulting, information security, learning, and development as well. He is a trusted advisor with several organizations, and over the years, he has helped several organizations to achieve strategic objectives of the organizations. He has had the privilege of leading a high-impact transformation projects and different programs, managed several multi-million-dollar portfolios, and delivered several high-value portfolios across different sectors. We're looking at IT, telecoms, finance, agri, health, education, government, development, and of course, SMEs. That's the name of the field. Please, if you can go on mute, please, that would be great. That would be great as well. All right, thank you so much. Now, Taufik is the CEO of iCentral. It is an organization that is big on business and technology solutions, and it was founded in 2009. It has presence in Texas, in the United States, and in London as well. The organization is in Abuja, Nigeria as well, and it also worked as a technology or technical lead with Sony Ericsson before forming iCentral. Okay, without any outer of doubt, Taufik is a change maker, and in 2009, he convened the Nigerian's first ever National Project Management Conference, which is known as PROMACON. This is to champion the institutionalization of Nigeria project management practices, and of course, across Africa as a whole. So the decade-old initiative has given birth to a not-for-profit organization called PROMACON, Project Management Foundation, and is a recipient of PMI's award for the most outstanding contribution to project management in Nigeria in 2010. Help me welcome Taufik Babayaju as he takes over the stage today. Taufik, over to you.
Thank you very much, Pete. It's a very sunny summer day in Dallas. I don't know how it is in Australia. Welcome everybody from every part of the world, London.
I can tell you, sorry, I can tell you it's very cold here. It's a winter morning and it's around 5 a.m. my time, so it's quite cold.
Fantastic. Thank you for everything you're doing, Pete, for the community, and ensuring that we get this discipline out there for people. I really appreciate the opportunity to also collaborate with you once again, and learn from you as always. It's always a pleasure anytime we connect, Pete. Of course, we share something in common, which is a love for this practice. And welcome everybody from every part of the world that you're joining from. We really appreciate your presence here. I can see a lot of known faces. SOA from Prague, different names that I'm very familiar with. Abusabu, I see US Talolo, and a few other people that I can relate with here. So let's get right into this. This session is not a lecture, so I'm not going to be teaching anything. We're just going to be having conversation, and about a topic that is dear to most of us. If it's not, I'm sure we won't be here. So allow me to quickly share my screen as we dive into the topic of today, which is agility from a business perspective. Why do we say this from a business perspective? Is because we're not looking at, Agile, Scrum, the technical bit of it, talking user story and all of those things. No, that's not what we're doing today. We're looking at Agile or agility from a business perspective, because our job, either as professionals, entrepreneurs, project managers, or Scrum Masters is to help the organization achieve its value. But before we go forward, let me just give you a quick rundown of my presentation outline. Like I said, I'm not teaching anything today, so we're just going to be having conversation. And so for me, why do organizations exist? So this is the hierarchy of my information with you, or my conversation with you. Why do organizations exist in the first place? Let's dissect that. What is business agility? Why business agility? And the need.
Less than 24 hours or so of oxygen left on.
Please, can we mute everybody,
Yeah,
please?
I'm working on that.
So the need for business agility, is there any need for business agility in the first place? Then we look at business agility as it connects with the business portfolio and the business value stream. And lastly, we're going to be looking at how to implement business agility, because hey, the how is very important when we figured out the what. So then we'll conclude and we have question and answers. So allow me to delve into this conversation. For anybody here that is a project manager, you understand the whole spectrum of stakeholders, and organization is not any different, right? Organization, whether commercial, profits, or a governmental organization, which is public sector, exists just for one purpose, and that is to create value for its stakeholders. Whatever that value is, whether it's in products, whether it's in service, whether it is in developmental issues, the organization exists to create value for its stakeholders, and that stakeholder may be so diverse, okay? And so any organization that does not create value for a stakeholder is a scam, okay? So let's establish that. Having established that, what is business agility? Like I said, we're not going into Scrum, Kanban. Those are very technical things, okay, at implementation level, which is very important as well. But we're looking at, business, or otherwise called enterprise agility. It's about how a business adapts to change to create value. Simple as that. Okay, how does your organization adapt to change in order to create value, again, for the stakeholders, which is the main purpose of the business in the first place? So the idea behind Agile approach to business is that there is more focus on deliverables, results, value, tangible values. It may be also intangible than on mere planning and activities. An organization's ability to quickly adapt and meet the needs of the market as it changes, through innovation is why Agile project management way of working is what, this Agile way of working emphasizes on. Okay. Apologies, I think I moved too fast on that. So why business agility? The two main reasons for adopting Agile approach or agility are speed and flexibility, required by working in an environment that continue to be both unpredictable and volatile. I'm sure we have all heard, VUCA at the beginning and during the pandemic. And our life has not been the same. Organizations are transforming. It all shows us that business can never be the same anymore also. So in simple terms, being agile is the ability to adapt to changes when required. So it is the speed with which organizations create value. Okay. And, in today's business, if you're not creating value as rapidly as possible, then you're going to run out of business. And don't forget, the business of business is to remain in business. A business is an ongoing concern. Whether you're a project manager, whether you're a Scrum Master, whether you're a business analyst, your job within that space is to help the organization to create value, because when the organization doesn't create value anymore, your job is threatened. And I'm sure most of us have been in an environment where our projects are yanked off. You're doing everything right. And you're wondering, why is my project not getting resources anymore? I'm going to talk about that as well, because organization is not, I'm sorry to use this word, is not doing the business, for the love of God. All right. It is not the Vatican. And it is not the Saudi Arabia. Even in Saudi Arabia, you pay for your Hajj. So nothing is free, even in Freetown. So the reason why that business is in business is to remain in business and to create value. So what is the need for business agility? All right. Why do businesses need to be agile? Now, number one reason is for operational efficiency. Okay, when your business go agile, it helps to improve your operational processes, and the processes are more flexible, collaborative, while the hierarchy system or the structure is flatter, encouraging more wider communication, which ranges, for all team members and fostering smoother and smarter deliveries. So when your organization is too hierarchical, you realize that things, get slowed down. The more hierarchical the organization is, the more difficult for decisions to be made, the more difficult for communications to happen, the less efficient your operation is. Now, the second reason is that you have better time to market. Agile businesses, are able to respond quicker to market changes, as well as deliver services, solutions demanded for by the market in better time than their competitors. And that is why when you see a business, no matter the size of the business, not small or big, when they are agile, they take feedback, quickly from the market, use it as a springboard for creating or releasing features, to their services, their solutions, that brings about more value, and more interaction, better, improved customer experience, which of course takes me to the last need for your business agility. Customers are more loyal to agile brands because of your response to their needs. Anything you do, whether it's digital transformation that does not have the customer experience, that does not change the customer experience, you're just doing it for yourself. It's not going to make your, you can't have digital transformation, organizational transformation without, an agile transformation. So agility is a subset of your digital transformation, while your digital transformation is also a subset of your organizational, your business transformation. So when customers are more loyal to your business, because you meet, their needs faster, and you are more efficient and more effective, the less you are, or the slower you are to respond to the needs of the market, the quicker the possibilities of the clients moving to another organization that can, because you're in business because of the clients, and the experience that we create also makes the clients, want to stay with us. Now, I was saying earlier on that why do organizations, despite the investment of resources, still, yank off some projects? Now, portfolio management supports the achievement of organizational strategy and objectives by selecting only the right work. And you're going to see that from the next slides, okay? The business of business is to remain, like I said, in business, of course, while balancing their portfolio, managing their risk, maintaining, portfolio alignment, allocating the right resources to the right work, not, just doing the work right. You measure your portfolio component performance. And at the end of the day, there are three things that really matters: value maximization from your portfolio, your business portfolio, strategic alignment, and balancing of your component mix. Now, the next slide speaks to, for some of us that are actually very familiar with the discipline agile value stream. You can see here very clearly in the value stream how this is the discipline agile value stream. You can see how discipline agile or agility connects with portfolio, okay, and also the whole enterprise system value stream of the organization. So agility is not disconnected, nor portfolio disconnected or project disconnected from the business. The beauty of discipline agile is that it shows you how everything from DevOps relates with portfolio management, discipline agile, enterprise framework itself. You can see your enterprise architecture, your people management, information system, information technology, and asset, and all of that. So this is just giving you a broader picture of enterprise agility to see how everything you're talking about is connected to value stream, and value stream connected to your portfolio. Now, this is where the rubber actually meets the road. How do we implement business agility, in our organization? It's not enough to teach people how to be agile or to learn to do Scrum Master, to do discipline agile. In the framework of the organization, it is about how you're able to implement agility. And this is not a silver bullet. I'm just going to map out maybe about 6 steps. Trust me, that is why agile coaches are so much in demand, because it is a total culture change within organization. And I'm not telling you this because I've done it too successfully even within my organization. Esther is here and a few members of my organization, and we know how we struggle with our own enterprise agility and our enterprise transformation within iCentral. So it's a journey and not it's not a sprint, even though we have to do it in sprints. Of course, how do we implement business agility, which is part of the questions that I know will be in the minds of so many of you. The first step is to understand what agility is, which is what we have spent the few seconds or minutes of this presentation to explain. That you need to understand agility as an organization, as people, because the more there is a common understanding of what agile means to your people, the better for you. Everybody listens to one FM station. Like I usually say to people when I'm, trying to do things around change management, is about what is the need for me, WIFM. That is a constant radio station that everybody listens to. So everybody must understand business agility. It is very important to understand agility from a business perspective, and this can take various forms, from automating processes, like I said. In your organization, if you're trying to do organizational transformation, from transforming your organization's culture to transforming digitally, then your agile transformation, you must understand what agility means, because this is where people play the role. This is where a lot of change management happens, from automating your processes to transforming the entire company culture. You must understand the role that agile plays within the whole spectrum of your transformation. Number 2 is to identify your current organizational culture. Okay, it means that you need to determine what the culture is within your organization at the moment. Is it an open-minded culture? Is it present focus? Is it a future-focused organization? Is it a collaborative culture? Oh, excuse me. Is it a rigid or hierarchical? The more hierarchical your organization is, the more difficult it is to achieve agility. Is it a competitive one where everybody's trying to outdo themselves? Now, once you identify your organization culture, this will now show you how to apply, agility in your own organization from your day-to-day work. Don't forget, like I said, agility is not a destination to say, oh, we're now agile, let's go to sleep. Now, it is about how do you put in agility into your day-to-day work, because your day-to-day work, when you look at your strategy as an organization, how do you dovetail your goals, your objectives down into your quarterly goals, your monthly goals, and how do you turn your monthly goals into weekly goals, and what are your objectives? How do you now turn them into sprints and moving away from your traditional way of achieving your goals and objectives? How do you turn those little things and turn them to sprints? And how do you do your stand-ups and all of that? That is where you now do the implementation at the implementation level. So you need to understand your day-to-day work, your culture within your organization, understanding that what you do daily will transform into your weekly and your monthly, your quarterly, to help you organize, your agility within the framework of your organization. No two organizations are the same. So you need to understand how agility is going to help your organization. Then map out your execution strategy, because it's not enough to understand agility. It's not enough to understand your company culture. What is the roadmap to executing? Who are the stakeholders? How is this going to work? What are the first steps? Okay. Change management, like I said, is very, very difficult. Anything called change is pain. So you're changing the way people work, their way of working. Remember, discipline agile is about freedom. Okay, for people that have studied discipline agile, it's about changing your way of working. It's about your team finding their own way of working. It's not predictive to say, oh, this is how you're going to do it. Your sprint could be 1 week. My sprint could be 2 weeks. Another sprint could be 3 weeks. So what works for your organization? You need to find it out so that you can adapt agility into your way of working and evolving your own unique way of working as an organization. It's going to take a while. It's not something that is, oh, this is agile, we're going to do sprints and all of that. No, it doesn't work that way. So after thorough assessment and satisfactory understanding of business agility from here on, and you deploy strategies to enable an agile workspace. Again, like I said to you, there's a lot of digitalization that happens in your system. The more flexible, the more digital your environment, the more flexible you are able to achieve agility, which means that you need to automate some things within your system. How do you report at the moment? How are files being shared at the moment? As much as is feasible, operation, including your functions, should be automated in order to free up talent's time. Now, part of the problems with implementing agility within an organization is because we're stuck with our way of working, writing reports. We want to do things manually. We don't have enough time to free up for the resources to do things. We need to ensure that we help the talents that you want to change their way of working to have the tools that they need in getting the job done, so that they can focus on getting, the job done, as against putting all their time into the mundane things that won't help your agility. Functions such as point of sales, accounting, payroll can all be automated with digital technology, so that people can just, free their time, let technology do some of the work. I'm not saying technology would, do all the work for you. Of course, leverage digital technology to foster, faster and smarter communication amongst teams. Let there be, dashboards instead of writing manual reports. How can I get things, on a workspace where everybody can access it, instead of sending me emails with a lot of attachments downloading attachment, reading through? Can we put things? Can we collaborate with tools as simple as Google Docs, what else, Dropbox and the rest of them, where people can, or team members can easily, see status of stuff, your Kanban board, your Jira, and, all sort of tools, the ones that works for you, select it within the organization and make, task management and communication faster among teams. Not waiting, I've not seen that email. I'm waiting for that, report on my desk. Please, can we move forward from here? Then rework your culture. We've identified that we need to understand our current culture. Now it's time to rework the culture. Beside operational changes, the company's culture will need to improve to a more agile style by focusing on fewer priorities. So what is our priority for this month? Let's focus on the priorities for this month, break it down into sprints and focus on what really matters so that we focus on what matters that can create value for us. You've heard about the 90-10, 80-20 principles where you focus your 20% or even 10% to achieve 90% or 20% to achieve 80%. So build an agile mindset. Again, agility is about mindset, not about tools. Okay, it's about the mindset and that is fixed on innovation. What can we do better? It's about continuous improvements. Okay, what worked yesterday does not mean that it's going to work today. Yesterday's success is actually a mediocrity of tomorrow. So in as much as you're going to be having changes come your way from time to time, let's focus on what worked and what can be improved upon. So build an agile mindset, fixed on innovation, adaptation, speed of value delivery, all tied up to excellence, service, and value delivery. Remember, it's about value. That is one constant thing you're going to see all through business agility. If it's not creating value to stakeholders, it is actually a waste. Now, be sprint-minded, not marathon-minded on projects. That means what's the whole essence of Agile is about what can we deliver at the end of this sprint. We don't want to wait. When I started my career in project management, out of my 23 years of professional career, I think I spent about 18 years in project environment, and it was traditionally, it was a traditional, environment of waterfall, where you wait till the end to see the result, and everything is rigid, and your charter and all of that. It is, it is more of a marathon-minded environment. But luckily, some of us are starting our career right now they don't even know what a traditional environment looks like in a sprint-minded environment. So again, it is very important while we do all this retrospect. It is very important that we give feedback and receive feedback as constantly as possible, because this feedback are the tools that we require for our continuous improvements. Team engagement, we can't overemphasize on team engagements. A business cannot become agile, from outside in. It begins from within. So first, with leadership, okay, the leadership must first of all adopt the agile mindset, then the rest of the team, and if possible, together. You need to encourage an entrepreneurial mindset. So in an agile environment, it's not about tell me what to do. It's about being entrepreneurial in your mind, because everybody is focused on how do we get this thing straight to the market? How do we get, it's about the end product and how the market consumes the end product. So encourage an entrepreneurial mindset amongst the team in order to instill ownership. Agility only works when everybody around have that ownership. of the results that we want to create. It's not about the boss. It's not about leadership. It is when everybody, no matter who you are, right down to the associate level, feel a sense of pride in what gets out there. Now, risk inclination. Be willing to take risk. As an organization, if you cannot increase your risk appetite, then you are not ready for agility, because agility is not for the risk averse. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail, but you're going to fail very fast. Be willing to take risk. Agility is next to impossible without the power to make decisions and implement ideas and risk failing. So you need to fail, but when you fail very fast and use the lessons from the failure to create better solution. And in conclusion, like I've always said, agility is a journey driven by a mindset of excellence. You're not going to achieve perfection. Perfection is impossible. You're not going to see perfection, but have a mindset of excellence, because it is the excellence that drives the market, and is the excellence that that gets the customer next to you. And at the end of the day, is the value that you create, the excellence of the value that you create, that makes the clients, the market, the customer gravitate towards you. Once again, thank you for listening. And from here, we're going to take question and answer if there's any, and I'm sure we have enough time to do that. We have as much as 20 minutes to still converse. I'm here to learn, and I'm also here to listen and glean more of your own knowledge. Thank you very much for listening.
All right. Yeah, that's a very, very, very good one. Straight at point on that. They're very, very, pregnant in meaning, and a lot of information. And I can see some engagement in the chat as well. Tawfiq, as usual, that was really great. There is always something and things to learn, especially when we have a chat. I guess we have some banters before we go straight into the question and answer. Yes. So I want to one of my favorite sayings when I work with organization is, no matter how perfect a system is, there is room for improvement, which is exactly what you're saying. So seeking perfection, it doesn't really come, because it's not definitely a sprint, is a journey. You can finish becoming agile. So because no matter how perfect it becomes, there is always something else to do. There is always something else to do. And from my experience, I can identify a couple of people on the call who are being engaged in organizations at the enterprise level. And like you rightly said, it's really a very massive endeavor. It is not an easy task. It's George said that agility is not for the faint-hearted, and I can reiterate that every time people like us go to work. For me, it's more like it's a complex adaptive system, right? You don't know what you're going to meet at work. You don't know what is happening or what is going to happen at that point in time. So the best we could do is just to make sure that we get our toolbox ready to look at what and give informed solutions, and based on data and based on our experience, of course, the toolkit of frameworks and that we have. Patrick and I are also part of, I wanted to say a group, or several groups actually, where we talk about, theory of constraints, where we talk about systems thinking, where we talk about lean approach. All these are what we use to dissect or to really look at what is happening at the enterprise level. So I'm just going to really have this discussion maybe between myself, Taufik, and Patrick. If Olga is still here, we can have that discussion for about 5 minutes and see before we open the door for more questions.
Interesting, Pete. I've seen some very, very interesting comments in the comment section. Quite interesting one. Some are also even disputing or challenging some of, which is fine. Like I said, we're here to learn. Nobody has the monopoly of this knowledge. As a matter of fact, like you said, it's complex adaptive system,
yes.
And it is constantly evolving over time. Let's get this conversation going. All right, I'm super excited.
Yeah. Same here. Like I mentioned, one size doesn't fit all. It's a complex adaptive system. Whatever works in team A may not work in team B because every organization is unique. Every problem is unique. Like you, Taufik, I've been engaged in project management for quite a while, and every project is unique. Every agile delivery is also unique, especially at the enterprise level. It can be very complex. All right, I'll come to your question, Olga, very soon. I just want to say, if Patrick will unmute, if that's okay. If there is anything you want to share in terms of agility at the enterprise level, just to buttress what Taufik has shared with us today. Is there anything you would like to chat to add to that?
I mean, he's like, I am in support of basically what he's put out there. I think one of the beauties of Agile is that incremental delivery, the fact that you're able to catch your errors faster by attacking smaller items, but those items have to be aligned towards achieving that same, the ultimate goal, which is the product vision. But, as you can tell from some of the knowledge areas we hang out, that, the theory of fail fast is also beginning to shift a little. And the question is, why do you even have to fail in the first place? Right. So that's another slight shift that's happening. The beauty of disciplined Agile is being agnostic, not being stuck to frameworks, because frameworks get you in that whole tied to you're not doing what the framework says, so you're not doing that. But at least with disciplined Agile, you're looking at the problem and you're going, what's the best solution for it at this time? Is it flow? Is it Scrum? And then you keep reviewing and you keep adapting. So but there's a lot of push now towards the human side of it, which was kind of missing before, but that's beginning to play an important role.
Yeah, agree with you 100%. Fail fast is good, but succeed early is even better. Succeed early is even better.
But no matter how much we try to change the narrative of failing fast, we should maybe as executives, as also leaders in the field, give the young Scrum Masters or Agilists the opportunities to to fail. I'm not saying failing can be very, very costly. Okay, whatever you can do to learn from past mistakes or best practices to reduce your chances of failure is fine. Okay, but when you fail, you should understand that failure is it's just like having contingencies on projects, right? We should understand that failure is part of the project, but as much as possible, there's no way we can, and we plan, we can't be perfect. So perfection is not achievable. Okay, excellence is achievable, and excellence, like is a journey. and it's a
Yep.
journey of continuous improvement, which is what discipline agile is all about. Okay, how do we continuously improve? Okay, so part of continuous improvement, or do I say succeed faster, is even part of continuous improvement, if I may put it that way. Okay, moving from failing fast to succeed fast.
Early.
Okay, so it's, for me, it's about focus on excellence and make sure for whatever you do, focus on on continuous improvements. What worked yesterday does not necessarily have to work today. Okay, and even if it's still working, put on the mindset and the thinking cap of, okay, what if? Okay, always play the what if scenario. And for me, I think you're spot on, Patrick. I can't say it any better than you've said it. Thank you.
All right, very good one. Very good one there. Thank you so much. There are quite two questions I have here. Maybe we can begin to look at them, and if there is any need for us to have a quick discussion around it as well, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, both questions are from Holger. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat. We'll quickly look at them. We've got about 8 minutes to do that. All right. So the first question is, what would be your approach directing executives away from the common cost savings approach towards a more innovation creating approach?
Okay, so for me, I think traditionally and instinctively, every business will look at how they want to cut costs. But in cutting costs, there's how far you can go. Okay, you have operational cost for business. There is the extent that you can go in cutting costs. And when it's about looking at the scarcity mindset and the abundance mindset of organizations, okay? When you get to a stage where you can't even cut cost anymore, what do? It's about innovation. Okay, how do you innovate and create more opportunities as against cutting costs? So, for example, let me put it out there. If your cost of operations as an organization is $1 million per annum, and you've cut costs to $900,000, and you're still making $900,000, it doesn't make any sense. The thinking is about how do you create more opportunities to be able to generate $9 million and not worry about cost of, keeping your costs okay at still $1 million. So this is the mindset of innovation. And innovation is to create more opportunities for wealth creation and more opportunities for markets, for more better customer experience, acquisition of customers, and generating more income. So it is, for me, I think it's an egg, a chicken and egg situation. Yeah. This is where executives need to put on their thinking caps. For example, in iCentral, we have basic costs. Whether we make money or not, we know that these are costs that we can't run away from. We are very big on people. So, for example, whatever we do is around people. So we can't even cut costs when it comes to people's salaries, emoluments, and all of that. But how do we empower our people to become, more productive, to create more value? That should be what we're thinking about. So it's about a shift from, the mindset of, we need to cut costs, to how do we innovate more to create more opportunities. So it's a mindset, like we said. Everything about Agile is mindset, is freedom of thinking. Yeah. What should we do differently to achieve different results? You can't change your present condition if you don't change your mindset. So it starts with mindsets. So you need to unlock a new mindset of opportunities. So that's it for me.
Yeah, well said.
I don't know if that answers the question there. And if Pete or Patrick has more insights that I can.
You actually broke it down, very well. First thing I believe is the approach to the executives anyway. You have to make them realize there's a partnership, and then you have to show that if we do this, these are the benefits that are likely to occur. So it's the kind of conversation. Sometimes you need visual representation, because one of the mistakes we make is we sometimes talk, and in the process of talking, the whole message gets lost, what you're trying to say. So sometimes you have to create the proper visual tools to show the benefits that would arise. And then at that point is probably where you pitch to them that little incremental thing we're talking about. How about we do this little piece here to see what benefits accrue, and then that is something where it's scalable down the line. So it's usually the conversation, how do you have the proper conversation to get everybody on the same boat, but let them know it's a partnership.
Yeah.
And that I feel is what helps most.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's another beautiful insight that I never thought of, right? Visualization. We need to just create the future that we want them to key into.
Right.
I can agree. I can agree less. The way we talk, we need to say leadership as human beings, and then the way we engage them also really works very well. And just something I need to add to that is there are a lot of data out there to show how cost savings have not worked in the past. For example, earlier in the days, it's all about cost cutting. And it was there for a long period of time. And most people are affected. It's the people side of the business that are affected when we try to cut costs, which will definitely affect effectiveness at the end of the day. So if we engage leaders coming from the fact that we have data, we have all these that have not actually supported the effectiveness of cost cutting, then the mindset side of things that Traffic mentioned comes in, because we now need to go on that journey of mindset shift for them. And of course, it doesn't work if we go head to head with them. And then Patrick's idea about how we engage them, how we talk to them, really knowing fully well that it will not happen overnight. It will happen over time. If the tool that you have in your toolbox is a hammer, every problem will look like a nail. This is what they used 25 years ago, 40 years ago, cost cutting, and it worked for them there. This is a complex environment. Now we are in a VUCA world. So the hammer will not work this time around. We need to change their mindset, go on that journey with them. And of course, the way we talk with them, it is not that what they will have does not work. It's just that in this instance, and in this scenario, and in this new world, it may not be the best tool. And then we work on that.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Choosing the right tool.
Yes. Looking at the time, let's quickly go to the next one. I've got two. The next one is also from Olga, which says, I see it as a paradox that there is a call for employee engagement in organizations, but leadership tend to keep by themselves to strategic decisions and do not trust their employees and fail to engage them. This is a very beautiful question. And I would like us to look at it from the practical angle, because this is true. And some of us have worked with enterprise C-level executives to crack this. So I'll first of all, put it open. If there is any, contribution either from Traffic or Patrick, then I can add to it.
I call it part of the pains of transition to, your transformation process.
Yeah.
You're asking people to give up the regular hierarchical structure and to trust their employees. So that's why emphasis now is on creating that psychological safety for your employees, so they can actually, voice out their opinions, help with the creative process. So it all becomes, which is why in Agile, the emphasis is on the horizontal flow.
Yeah.
Lay it all out, and don't, psychological safety, don't be scared to say, like Taufik was saying, don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you're going to get that. Now, I mean, are your executives going to give you that freedom to, be the ones with the final say on something that may become $1 million problem for them? No. But if you're able to present your idea in such a way that they can see, they can understand, then success will occur with that organization. But it's one of the major pains of organizational transformation, because the executives have the same fear that the employees have, which is the fear of failure.
Yeah.
You know, a company loses 20 million tomorrow, everybody's calling for the head of the CEO. You know, so you're both battling the same problem. It just depends on how you can form the partnership to be able to move together forward. And that's where that whole, you have to create that environment where everybody feels safe enough to be able to have good conversations and get creative.
Great response. Tawfiq, any addition to that?
Yeah, I think Patrick has done a very good job of that. We just need to, as executives, executives need to create that balance, okay? And that is where your experience comes from. So I tell my team members, I'm not smarter than all of you put together, right? But the only thing I have more than every one of you guys is the experience. And that is where my experience comes to be. I'll tell you, this is the likely outcome of this, but it's just like you giving a child, a baby to your 10-year-old to carry. You need to be there to be sure that it doesn't drop it, okay? But it needs to also feel the excitement of, I'm carrying my little sister, I'm the big sister now, okay? So you need to create that balance, create the boundaries, okay, for the risk mitigation. Of course, the more they are able to do stuff without you, the better for you. Yeah. Okay, and the more you're able to collaborate, the better. But you must stand on the sideline to ensure that they don't get your head, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter what happens anywhere else in the organization, the ball stops at your desk, and you are ultimately responsible. So it's finding that balance of dropping. Again, it's just, you also need to be agile about risk, because you need to you don't drop everything on your team members, okay? And they get overwhelmed. I used to make that mistake in the past, where I just give you everything because I feel that, okay, you want this responsibility, take it. So you need to start dropping it little by little. Okay, let me see what you achieve by this. Okay, we're making progress. Celebrate the wins. Let's move to the next one. I think, Patrick has just said, nothing else to add.
Yeah. So what the bit I'm going to add to that is just to say, traditionally, leaders manage people and they don't manage leaders. So that is why we have the hierarchical structure at the beginning, where it's about people management. So someone at the top, there are 4 people below them, there are 16 people below, and everybody is saying my team. Now, the flow of value is horizontal. The flow of value is horizontal, is not vertical. Now, if the flow of value is horizontal, from the customer down to the foot soldiers, back to the customer, that's the flow of value. Now, if organizations or leaders really want to work on employee engagement, then what both Tawfiq and Patrick mentioned needs to be done, because you need to empower them, you need to make them psychologically safe. They are smart. That is why they got a job in the first instance. So give them the benefit of the smartness that we saw in them, or the leaders saw in them, and then let them take it to the next level. And by doing so, those strategic decisions still stay with the leaders. However, the tactical delivery aspect of it should stay with the people working. And of course, it takes a lot of psychological safety for them to go all out. Leaders will say, bring your best self to work. But if they say it and they don't act it, it's not going to happen. So psychological safety will lead to trust. And when there is trust, the sky is the limit. I'll just set it up that way. That's it. I'm going to take maybe one more. I don't want us to go past 10 minutes past the hour, because we actually started around that time. Just want to keep it to 1 hour straight. But let's say, Tawfiq, you have a lot of experience with the government parastatals. There is one interesting question from Adoremi. Why does government agencies have difficulty implementing business agility for project delivery? Is it a leadership problem?
Okay, so when you say government agency, you need to put it in context. Is it in Africa or in US? Because where I sit here, I see a lot. When I deal with government agencies, I see some agility, okay, in the system, and from time to time things always change because they realize the. So I oscillate between Africa and the US. So, and I see a lot of difference in, in customer, because you're seen as a customer, you're first a customer when you're dealing with government agencies, right? And because you can also escalate things, it puts everybody on their toes. In Africa, it also has to do with the mindset, okay? The people leading the organization and even the people working with the organization see themselves as bosses of the people that they are serving. Until that mindset changes, we can't have any form of agility in that system. Okay. And again, remember, agility is about mindset. Okay. If you don't see me as your customer, if you don't see me as a stakeholder that you're providing value to, you see me as somebody that is subservient to you and you're doing me a favor, you can't be agile in your approach of delivering value to me. So again, we need to, the consequences management. Okay, for example, for Texas Workforce, as iCentral, we had to file the quarterly report of 2023 to Texas Workforce Commission by May 1st. And we totally forgot. Looking at it yesterday, there was $60 fine. You have to pay that fine, because there is consequence management.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to, even though you've done it, okay, maybe about 20 days after, but there is a fine waiting for you. That is an agile system. Okay. And you can also demand, accountability from that system, which is also demanding accountability from you. So the case study should be, in what context? Okay, I've worked with a lot of government agencies in Africa, and I know how difficult it is to also to sell change. Even as I told you, we spent almost 10 years trying to sell project management from 2008, 2009. Sustained the national conference for about 10 years before you could have departments or career paths called project management in some organizations, okay, of government. And you can also have people say, oh, we're practicing project management. So it takes that long. So you can't, we have not even gotten to, adopting project management, talk less of adopting agility.
Yeah.
So it's a long journey.
Yeah.
So, and again, until we change the mindset of the people in there, we can't achieve any form of agility. So it all starts with the mindset. And it starts, I said that during my presentation, it starts with leadership. Okay, you can't be agile when the leadership is not agile.
Yeah, most successful transformation
It
journey
happens without
changing the culture. You got to change the culture of the organization.
And it needs to be, and for every transformation that I've been part of, or for any organization or enterprise, cultural change that I've been part of, it needs to be driven, from the commitment of executive is very, very key. It's a go, no go stage. If you don't get that, forget about it.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so Adoremi, that's really a cultural issue. It's one of the government agencies, what we can call issues that come with government agencies, especially in some part of the world. It's not that in other part the government it's perfect. The government parastatals, or what we call the government agencies, are perfect, but they are doing much more in other areas. I am in Australia, and I can see a lot of movement. I've worked with a lot of government agencies, and they are practicing business agility. For example, the very first time I heard that Lagos State had a PMO, region management office, I was really happy, which was during Fashola's regime recently. Yeah, that was the very first time I heard that the government of the state has a PMO, the region management office. That was excellent. So, and your additional question is, how do we bridge this gap? Rome wasn't built in a day. It is taking those baby steps. And that is why each one of you, we have more than 33 people or 35 people on this call at some point. If we all are ambassadors of change to wherever we are, it starts with you. Now, each one of us here, I am doing my beats. Patrick is doing his beat. Taufik is doing his beat. Everyone is doing his beat. For me, waking up 5 a.m. is part of the beat I'm doing, just to make sure that we share this information to you, and then you share to another person, and then it goes that way. And the mindset that you need to trigger that change stays with you. You do one today, you do another one tomorrow, and then the next you do one, it keeps going. It's a ripple effect. So let's just become the ambassadors of change, especially if you work in the government agencies.
Agility is nothing new under the sun. We've practiced agility even in your villages way before. The concept of Ubuntu and all, those are all concepts of agility. So it's just how you restructure your mindset, get back to basics, and then you, as we know, you can be the change that you want to see. You have to push it, you have to teach it, you have to learn it. And that's all you can do.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, Sulaiman, I know you have a question, but I'm looking at time. I want people to get back. I guess what we can do is please contact myself. Let's connect on LinkedIn, and then we can take this question, which is about mindset itself. We can talk about that offline if that's okay. Apologies, because I need to close this session. I don't want it to be much more than an hour. That is one of the beauty of Agile as well. We want to time box everything. So we are just going to close it at this point in time. But before we really close, I just want to say next month, we are going to come back again. I'm looking forward to having you on the webinar or on the meetup on next month. And we're going to bring another person to really share some amazing insights with us here. So I look forward to that. Also, you will receive the recording of this in case you want to go back to check it. It will definitely be on a YouTube channel somewhere, and then I'll share it with everybody that has registered for this particular webinar. Especially, I want to thank you, Taufik. We have this discussion.
Great job, Taufik.
Every now and then, and every time we talk, whether formally or informally, there is always something to pick and to talk about. Thank you for really looking after your brother.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for also sharing. Sharing your wealth of experience. Someone told me behind the scene to say, Pete, you have caught a big fish this time around just before our session. So, and you did nothing but deliver. Thank you so much. We'll continue to do the amazing work we're doing for the love of the motherland and also for the love of the trade. Thank you so much. And to you, Patrick, thank you. You always show up and always contribute. I really appreciate your support and effort. And to everybody who has been here, thank you for your presence and your contribution as well. One day, someday, we'll invite you to take the center stage as well.
Before you go, let me quickly acknowledge some friends here. Abiola Dairo, I see you. SOA, Oluwaloni, everybody is important, but some of my friends here that actually came. I can see some of them. Esther is here, Abdusabo, who else? Thank you very much for joining in. Looking forward to another session, even not as a guest, but not as the host, this time as a guest to keep on learning from. And Patrick, it's nice connecting with you.
Same here.
Great insights. Thank you.
Same here. Great job.
All right.
And the rest of you, don't say you're only coming to see Taufik. Be with us. Come here. Let's exchange ideas. We're all learning together.
Sure.
And that's all we can do. Just keep learning and pushing this little thing till we get where we need to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Well
you,
said.
Bob.
All right, guys, I'm gonna close it now. Thank you for joining us today, and I'll see you next month. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right. Have a great one now.
Bye.